Hello, guys. Wow, I have been so overwhelmed by all that has been happening in this Nigeria, and of course, happenings from all over the world. I have been overwhelmed to the point that for a while I've just been speechless, trying to take everything in. And honestly, sometimes if you're not careful, it can be too much because seriously, there's so much a person can take. Thank God for the grace of God. I hope you are tapping into this grace because this year 2020, wow, it's been wonderful. It's been amazing. You know, I don't think anyone could have predicted year 2020 accurately as we have experienced. But thank God, who brought us through the COVID-19 lockdown, you know, through the resumption of the economy, and then people had to adopt to this new way of living where you now do your businesses more than ever online, where you now hold virtual meetings through Zoom, or and then of course you make use of your WhatsApp video calls, and you have presidents communicating with the whole world on Twitter. And of course, you know, you could also use your video chats to communicate with your families all around the world because you've not been able to see them for a while because of the COVID-19 lockdown. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 thing is still on, and maybe we are not experiencing it so much here in Nigeria, but we have countries, different countries all over the world where they have already experienced the second wave of the disease or are experiencing it. And I don't know, maybe we are experiencing it here in Nigeria too, but somehow we have decided to not concentrate so much attention on it because we have a lot of problems, which for me, they are even more than COVID-19. But nonetheless, let's still be careful. Let's still wear our face masks when we go out, especially when we're in a crowd. Let us still continue to wash our hands with sanitizer. I mean, you have nothing to lose by keeping to all the necessary precautions. So I want to thank God for this year 2020, really, and for the grace that He has given us and has seen us up till now, taking us through so many experiences this year. From we had all these fuel explosions in different parts of the country, while we were still, shouting and screaming and telling government, help us, so this fuel explosion is getting out of hand and it's getting too much. Adopt best practices. There must be ways that these things are done abroad. Do something about it. While we're still on that, the NSAS protest began. And then it took on a life of its own. I'm sure this thing was in its planning, stage for a very long time. So much so that no one saw it coming. And when it happened, it was like, wow, so a protest can happen in Nigeria and be this organized and be this like actually funded, and then without really having any particular leader. So it was a challenge for government because I guess if such a thing had happened in the past, quickly the leader of the group will be picked up, and then before you know what's happening, the whole protest will be dispersed. But it wasn't like that this time around. And as the protest took on a life of its own, it was as if government became scared, or let me just say, some people in some quarters became scared. And then I ask myself, why does it look as if the Nigerian state or maybe government is afraid of protests? For all I know, the constitution allows legitimate peaceful protests. So it shouldn't be a thing that immediately you see a group or an individual protesting, somebody is uncomfortable somewhere. It shouldn't be that. We should be, you know, working towards becoming like all this developed country where anybody at any time can carry their placard and say, this is it, that this is what I'm protesting for. The aftermath of the NSAS protest has been very, very, very unfortunate, but I want to believe that so much good is coming out of it because people have been woken up from their slumber, especially Nigerian youths, and more people are more aware of their rights, are more aware that they can actually speak out, at least if nobody else is listening. The media has helped, this whole thing to become well spread so much that anybody all over the world can watch what is happening in Nigeria. So maybe it's one of the good things that it's coming out of the protest, despite the way the whole thing was later hijacked by some elements that have been tagged as hoodlums, later hijacked. And then I think before the hijack, the shooting at Lekki toll gate was a major point of concern for all Nigerians. The people that were shot at Lekki gate were people's children, people's brothers, people's sisters, people's daughters, people's sons. They were human beings with families. And then some, up till now, it's so sad that nobody has been able to claim that we were responsible for this. Why do we have such a government or such a nation that the truth cannot be told as it is? And then everybody goes around denying this, that, and all of that. It's so sad. And then the aftermath of all of that, they couldn't, find a way to arrest the so-called hoodlums who looted, maybe public and private properties. No one has been able to identify one person who went to ShopRite or all the other shops, private shops or public shops, or destroying infrastructure. No one has been able to gather them and say, okay, these are the people who were responsible for this discussion, for this destruction. Instead, the people who organized the peaceful protest are being picked one after another and being subjected to different, all sorts of harassments here and there. Some have been detained in police station, and even some other people have had their accounts seized or frozen, as the case may be. And then all these things happening, and I'm just like, is this still a democracy? Are we still, in a democratic era, or have we suddenly gone back to the military era where no one was free? How can anyone, even at this time, be legislating over a social media bill? It's crazy. How can you want to cut off Nigeria from the rest of the world? Is it how why can't we face the things that are our real problems? We still have Boko Haram insurgency in the north. We still have people living in IDP camps. Nobody is talking of how to sort all these people out, sort out all these people, seriously giving, let's say the government is now building them, rebuilding cities, rebuilding villages, and all of that, and helping all these people in resettling. We still have almanjaris here and there. This almanjari thing, can't it be completely eradicated? Is it not possible for it to be completely eradicated? Why can't we have a scheme where youths are actually meaningfully engaged? Why is government not acceding to ASU's demand, so much so that federal universities up till now are still, have been locked down for more than or thereabout maybe 8 months now? These are real issues we should be contending with, and not picking up peaceful protesters. Before you go, please, I'd like you to just look down at the bottom of this video and like, if you enjoyed listening to this talk, like it or comment. Actually, I'd like to hear from you, so please leave your comments. God bless you.